your neck of the woods, Houston Texans. Obviously, you're down there. You get to see him. CJ's a local Southern California kid who's going to be on our show during the season. Great kid. I think he's excelled, expectations already in year one. What the Houston Texans did last year, getting to go to play against the Ravens in the playoffs. I mean, unbelievable, right? I got to ask you this question, though, from one quarterback to another. And I'm not even talking – I'm talking about Josh Allen losing Stephon Diggs to now the Houston Texans. My player, Tank Dell, is there in Houston, who got hurt last year, could have been a different maker in the playoffs. They got a loaded lineup now in the wide receiver room with that quarterback. Are you worried at all, though, that this cat is a shitbird and it's an addition by subtraction in Buffalo and subtraction by addition in Houston?
Here's what I think. He wants they tore up his contract and gave him a 1-year deal. He wants another big contract. He better stay in line and play well. If we were talking about Diggs, now there's no doubting his talent, and it's almost like things go well early and then he gets bored late. So whatever, something bothers him. He can't afford to do that this year because coaches will finally get to the point and say, happens once, okay, we all been there. Happens twice, you start to look at it. Happens 3 times, it's a trend. And then you start to say it ain't the organization, maybe it's the guy. I think DeMeco Ryans has this under control. I think Stephon Diggs recognizes the importance of, I don't mean fitting in where you don't speak out. I don't care if you speak out. I don't care. The receivers are always loud and are always confident and are always that way. But you still got to perform and do the things you do without – there's one thing of speaking out and doing your thing without being disruptive. And I think that's the level. If his head matches his talent this year, they'll have as explosive offense there as in the league. Nico Collins is on the verge of being a 1. Tank Dell's an explosive, dynamic player, as you know, and precise. Joe Mixon is, aside from McCaffrey, when you combine catching and running out of the backfield and durability, Mixon is in the team picture for that outside of McCaffrey.
You got the Michi kid coming up being healthy finally. Michi, he's starting to look really good.
There you go. From Mechie coming out from cancer and the thorn, and then from lymphoma, I think what it was, and from and just getting back into being the first round guy he was when he left Alabama and the knee injury. You also had, with Dalton Schultz and the ability to play action. They didn't have that threat last year, or the ability to throw 60, 65 balls to the guy in the backfield. Now they do. And Mixon's presence alone creates more spacing. This is the most dynamic and precise bit of talent. I've been in Houston 11 years. Even through Watson's time, this is the best group they've ever had. And I can tell you right now, Stroud's a better quarterback than Watson now. Because he's better at the getting buy-in.
Accurate.
He's better at getting through his progressions without bailing, because he knows that's not his number one strength, is using his legs. He's an underrated athlete, getting out of the body. He's a good hoop player. And he studies. Bobby Sloak will tell you, you almost got to tell his ass to go to bed. For me, to get to the next level, we know he can throw it. He threw it in high school. He threw it in college. It's getting through progressions, distributing the ball, which will not be a problem, because the 49ers offensive system, which Sloak runs, everybody's going to get a chance to get the ball. It's his ability to do both. He's the best mid-distance thrower we have in the league. I'm just telling you, that 15 to 22-yard, layering the ball and then knowing where to throw it accurately on the comeback sidelines, the bender, the seam routes, the deep digs. Stroud's it. But it's his presence, expectations of himself, and his ability to make sure that he's not getting left behind mentally tells me that you've got I don't like to be too hyperbolic and say, well, 10 years from now, I believe 5 years from now, or 2 years from now, 3 years from now, that there's going to be 3 or 4 names mentioned at the top of the list. And if I said right now for the next decade or 8 years, you got to take 5 quarterbacks in the league. If you're not mentioning him, you ain't watching the same game I'm watching. I think the guy's special. There will be no sophomore slump because his mental preparation. Now, hopefully there'll be no injury, but he won't turn into a hack overnight. He puts too much time in and he's too good. And their offense has too many weapons.
We have another Shaun that we love and who loves you, by the way, another Super Bowl winning QB. Shaun King comes on our show twice a week.
Love him.
He said to tell you hello, but he said exactly what you said. He thinks that CJ is the most accurate passer he's ever seen.
Let me tell you something. He put it this way, he throws that deep stuff, that intermediate 15 to 22. JB and Smitty got to pump it on the sideline, the corner route where you flatten them into the sail route. He throws out with accuracy like a lot of quarterbacks go the 0 to 10 open receiver in space. He is really, and his mechanics are solid. He doesn't bail early because he feels pressure. He's the newest. I mean, he truly is a pocket guy with some athleticism. Without athleticism, thinking that that's his hero play and bailout. His bailout is to get into the next guy. Second guy's not there. Boom, get it to the third guy who's standing on the sideline on a fall-off comeback for a first down. I love him because he's not an eye guy. Even though he went out and had fun this offseason, he should enjoy the fruits of his labor as long as it doesn't get in the way of preparing for his season. I don't even think you've sniffed C.J. Stroud's best football. I don't. And that's saying something. When the general managers and the evaluators in this league have him as a top 7 guy, he started 15 regular season games. That's not a fan poll where we all get excited about our home guy. That is the guys who watch it. Matter of fact, if you're taking guys over the next 8 years, Mahomes, I guess he's still got 8 in him, maybe. I mean, you take him first, regardless if it's 5, 4, 8, just because his production, the coach has something to do with it, he's talented. But after that, is it Lamar? Is it Allen? Is it Stroud? He's in the conversation. Joe Burrow, when he's healthy. Those 3 or 4 guys.
Herbert, we got to see what Herbert does with
Herbert. He is in that picture. He
Jordan
is
Love now. Love, is he a guy?
Already. And he doesn't even have 2 seasons under his belt. I think the Houston Texans are a dangerous football team, man. I do.